All right, unedited vlog mode Patreon hybrid video thing go. I'm gonna try and do one of these on the first of every month. It is the 1st of October. I have goals for October. We have frustrations for October. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how crazy that is, how crazy it's been, how wild October is gonna be just in general. First off, like we've kind of optimized these printers in here. They're all going. If you're thinking of starting an Earth business, here, wait, before I get into that, we've started exhausting our filament library of like premium colors, just running incredibly low on those. We've completely cleaned the workshop area. I haven't seen this much floor space in here in a while, and then as much as we've cleaned that up, my workbench has never been messier. So we'll sit down here for just a second. We'll talk about some of the stuff we've worked on. What if I set you guys here? That seems pretty safe. So, just a lot of stuff going on. First off, I guess I want to thank everyone for their orders over on foamproshop.com. We rebranded the website. There's a lot of reasons for rebranding the website that we'll get into later. They're not super relevant right now. It didn't change anything. Our fulfillment, your orders, everything is still consistent and fine and is trackable through that system. So that was honestly pretty easy, but I want to thank everybody for their orders. I want to thank everybody for their patience. Our throughput is as fast as it possibly can be right now. We realistically probably need to hire somebody else. We're sort of looking into people that we can hire to do the position. The hard thing is it's hard to find somebody who will work, weird hours and has 3D printing expertise. It's just tough. We have a really good team though, and as long as we kind of keep that 2-week window for order fulfillment, and don't get me wrong, like we've been crushing it. We have a 2-week window posted everywhere on the website. Most orders ship in 4 to 5 days. Most orders actually, like a lot of orders, assuming they're not, custom or weird in some sort of way, most orders ship in like 2 days. If you order Twilight wheels, they're going out the day pretty much you order them. If you order, something that we already have printed and all I have to do is pull it out of the bin, file it in a couple of places, clean it up, and then throw it in a bag, that's probably a 2-day order, et cetera, and so forth. Sometimes just if we've, packed orders 3 nights in a row, we'll like grill instead on hypothetically, it's not hypothetical. We've packed the last 3 nights, so this Friday, which is tomorrow, we're probably gonna do some grilling and chilling, and we won't pack orders then. Then we'll do a marathon pack on Saturday and get all of those out to you. So it's been pretty crazy. Learning to run a web shop has been crazy. It's been a lot of work, a lot of unexpected challenges. Just maintaining a fleet of printers has been difficult. And the piece of advice that I wanted to offer is do not build a fleet of multiple printers. Pick one printer. That's your printer. Luke, it turns out, exceptionally brilliant. Running everything on on Prusa Mark IIIs, very smart. I used to think that they were very expensive printers, but I'm sure that between the speed and the efficiency of them, he has more than recouped his cost on his fleet of Mark IIIs. Definitely a wise decision. I still like CR10s. There are certain things I can print that Luke can't, and I can load up beds with more parts, but then you get more failures, or more expensive failures, not necessarily more failures. Anyway, we definitely have some B-grade parts in a bin that maybe we'll sell at some point at like a steep discount. This one caught us by surprise. We made this mostly because we wanted our Spectrum to be sweet, and then we offered the files, and everybody really digs this low-profile muzzle. If you've ordered one of these, sincerely thank you. There was a little bit of confusion. I did mine in Vertigo Gray because that's the filament I use for prototyping. We offered in black, gray, and orange. The orange is the only one with sparkles. Our gray is a pretty generic gray. Looks great with the rest of the gray on the kit though, so on the blaster though. So that's been going well. I want to thank anybody, and I know some of you are patrons, some of you are just regular Twitch viewers. Thank you for your patience on Arcane orders. I know they're expensive, and I know that the lead time is stated at a month, and I know that on at least 3 orders right now we're over a month, including this one. And this one was honestly a mistake. We should not have taken this order, just because this AR-15-esque M4 shroud, very poorly designed. So we were working with new files, tweaking, it requires custom hardware, etc. This one's like legitimately, I mean, if you look at where I'm at with it, the back's done, the front's very close. This one's probably going to ship in a couple of days, but the whole benefit of buying something premium like an Arcane blaster is that you get tweaking, testing, finessing, and you wind up with something that's really nice, very high quality. We throw out a lot of prints. I mean, at first glance, this doesn't look like a bad print, but it has one layer shift here in the back, which wouldn't affect the performance, but it doesn't look good enough for us. So like that gets scrapped, and that's a 22-hour print. So we're very proud of the quality of those blasters, but right now, because of the massive throughput on some of these like Aeon, Nexus, and Spectrum kits, all 3 Dark Zone blasters, by the way, they're just doing a really good job of producing high-quality blasters. We've been delayed, and part of that comes with an apology. Like, I know that the kind of customer that's willing to pay the premium for Arcanes is willing to wait an extra week to get that kind of premium, that kind of quality, and so deep down in my heart of hearts, I put those in the back burner because I know that I probably won't get somebody yelling in my inbox because their Arcane took 5 weeks, whereas I know just from experience at this point that if somebody orders a Spectrum kit, even if they read the thing that said it would take 2 weeks and they order the Spectrum kit, if I haven't shipped it in 4 days or whatever, they'll be like, I ordered it last Saturday, where is it? And I have to be like, it's coming. And then half the time what I do is I switch rails on or I switch a color roll, I'll print it. Like, I hate how often we just bow to that, but that's customer service and that's a new customer. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's just like if you have a complaint in your inbox, please don't take this as like, if you want your thing faster, just whine about it, because that's really, really frustrating. But half the time we'll just fulfill the order and be like, look, it's on the way. That's the best way to reply to a where's my thing email is, here is your tracking number. Wish you'd read the banner on my website. But I'm not here to complain. Again, I'm just very, very grateful. The response to the website's been incredible. It's allowed us to grow very quickly. It's allowing us to expand. It's allowing us to work with new partners and do new things and experience new stuff. Something fun, completely unrelated that I've noticed is a lot of people have been tagging us and Adventure Force in some of their mods. And the thing that's really exciting to me is these are like fully modded, painted blasters, and then the official Walmart Adventure Force page will repost them. It's just unheard of. It's a brave new world in our hobby, and in a world where like Hasbro refuses to acknowledge that we exist for fear of liability, it is very, very refreshing to see somebody embrace, you know, the unique secret sauce that is our community and do really, really cool stuff with that. We have lots and lots of Twilights in stock. This cage is very good. People seem to like that. We're working on, let's just talk about stuff that we're working on for a brief second. We're working on a Halo assault rifle cage. We want to make sure that people can use our wheels in that because it's got really lackluster performance out of the package, and that's something we're working on. We're working on a couple of new machined parts that we can't explicitly talk about. We have a completely new blaster design that we want to launch late October, but the issue with that is I'm starting to again feel very guilty, almost ashamed that we haven't shipped all of the Pyara orders yet, and there's a lot of hardware struggles in there. So if you are one of my Pyara pre-orders, just from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your patience. It's been way too long. I don't feel good about it. It keeps me up at night, and we are trying very hard to fulfill it, but there's just a constant, I mean, every day you get another 20, 30 orders for a kit or some printed doodad, and it's just, this sounds silly, but it's so much easier to print a kit that you know fits well and works well and put it in a bag than it is to, you know, spend the hours it takes tweaking and tuning something to the highest quality so that you put a ready-to-go blaster in the box. So I'm like terrified of launching our new blaster design is where that gets at. Other than that, you can like watch the buffering happen in real time. Huge shout out to everyone who watches on Twitch. We've been streaming pretty much whenever we can. It's clear the pandemic isn't going anywhere anytime soon, and so Twitch streaming keeps me sane. You can laugh at that if you want to, but it legitimately helps me in my mental health. I like hanging out with all my buddies on Twitch in the afternoon, and when I launch this video tonight, I'll be live on Twitch, so if you're interested in joining our little stream fam, That's twitch.tv/VampireDrac, and we just cleaned the slate. New month, new goals, new games. Might play Star Wars Squadron, which comes out I think tomorrow. That'd be pretty dope. Dogs are good. I know that a lot of people are really invested in the dogs. My sister's dog just got her spay about a week ago, and she's healing so fast. It's very refreshing, especially since Jinx's spay was kind of a nightmare due to her size. So Echo's doing great. Jinx is living her best life. She's a happy, happy dog. She doesn't know anything about, elections, orders, 3D printers. She just, as long as, the grill gets fired up a couple of times a week and there's fresh water to drink and laps to sit on, she's a pretty happy little beastie. My wee companion. Here, let me show you what's going on upstairs. We just got in a filament order. Did a bunch of work with ASA, weren't happy with how the ASA went, so we ended up abandoning the ASA. We have no light in this room. Just running power to this room is a real pain. But you guys can see all of these guys are going as well. This one isn't, kind of a shame. CR10s are very reliable workhorses, but they're not perfect. Looks like we just finished 2 more Nexus releases. These work in both Nexus and Adventure Force Aeons. So those are pretty cool. Shipping department's looking pretty messy, pretty hectic. Just bins and bins of parts here. And as crazy as it is, if we packed all of these orders and each one has like a stopgap, can't ship Nexus things because we're low on Equinox sites. Can't ship Spectrum kits because we're low on muzzle crowns, etc., and so forth. So it's just constantly juggling the machines to make sure that you can batch orders and ship orders as soon as possible. Like, we're pretty good on Spectrum rails. We're pretty good on scars. That's one thing that I guess I want to talk about. The number one complaint that we have makes it sound like there's lots of complaints. There's not. There are lots of orders. There are very few complaints. But the complaints have trends, I suppose. And one big complaint that we wind up with is, my scar is too loose. My scar is too tight. Or what have you. And no matter how much tuning we do on the G-code for each individual machine, there's all sorts of factors from, like how humid it is where you live sometimes to determine that. The fact of the matter is, printed scars are tough. And the kits are really designed for modders. If you don't know how to, put a dot of super glue to mate your scar to your muzzle, because a lot of it comes from this interaction where these two, the shroud and the scar, people will be like, oh, it's too loose or it's too tight. And it's like, well, there's a hole in the muzzle where if it's too loose, you can put a set screw in there and tighten it down. And then there's, sandpaper in your workshop where if it's too tight, you can, sand it for like, sometimes it's no time at all. I had one guy be like, I had to sand it for 2 hours. I'm like, what were you sanding with? 1,000 grit? Like, were you even sanding it? I don't know. I don't want to, again, I appreciate everyone who supported the business. It's just, the kits are designed for modders. While we make them to be drop-in, I understand that they're not always going to be drop-in, and nothing means more to me than if you spend 30 seconds trying to solve the problem like a modder, as opposed to immediately leaping into my inbox and being like, solve my problem. And it's like, do I have to teach you how to mod? Like, I'll replace it, but if I replace it and it still doesn't work, then I don't know what we're supposed to do, because that which happened once can happen again. Very excited about that. Should be live on Twitch right now. My one big goal for October, and I'm sure that some of you have been watching long enough to remember this. I'm sure that some of you have no idea. It used to be that I could take October off. I would work like a dog 11 months out of the year, and I would try to take my favorite month out of the year off. I haven't been able to do that in, I think, 3 years now, because I've been so busy. I have a unique opportunity to take the last, the last like 12 days of the month off this year, and I would really like to do that. So I don't know what that's going to mean for the web store. We're going to try our hardest to fulfill everything that we can before then, and maybe we'll delay launching some new products in that regard. But or maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just go full steam ahead like crazy goofballs. But the plan is to work really, really hard in the next couple of weeks, try and get some really amazing content out for you guys, try and finish some mod guides that we've had going for a while now, and ultimately fulfill as many of these orders as possible so that I can take those 12 days, because I haven't had a vacation in a really long time. But that's your vlog update. Obviously, if you're watching this through Patreon, there are so many growing pains with this. So many of these items are low margin that I can't even tell you how much that support means to me. It allows me to do things like buy a couple extra printers every month to expand our fleet. It allows me to, feed the guys so that we can justify keeping them here a little bit later, and keeping the fleet going, or just packing an extra dozen orders, editing a couple more videos, whatever's clever. And then if you're watching this on the vlog channel, thanks for watching, man. The vlog channel is really small. If you're on the vlog channel, you've been here for a long time. You mean a lot to me. Like, you've been supporting kind of my Toy Story for a while now, and even though we're in this period of unprecedented growth and everything's kind of scary and wild and honestly very challenging with what's going on in the global sort of economy and supply chains and everything, it's still really, really cool that you've been here for a long time. And on some level, you either hate me enough to watch all of my contents, or you enjoy the journey enough to follow along. I prefer you to be the latter, but I know that there's a couple of people in the former. But thank you. Appreciate all of the patience that's been given to us in this time. And then in addition to that, just thanks for supporting foamproshop.com. Thanks for supporting the YouTube channel, and thanks for supporting the stream. We've got a lot of irons in the fire right now. We do very little sleeping, and it means the absolute world to me that you guys are along for the ride. See ya in November. November 1st, we'll try and do another update, building on this one, kind of going along that way. Yeah, that's it. Bye.